Hey guys, how's it going? I'm going to try to keep this video very basic. I'm going to go over the simplest, but I think the most effective way to play offense in NHL 23. I'm going to show the easiest way to score off the rush, and then two plays that I use quite frequently that complement each other in the offensive zone. They work with any of the offensive strategies, so overload, crash the net, or behind the net. If you do enjoy this video, please click subscribe, and thank you. This first clip here, I'm going to show you off the rush with an offhanded winger. Very simple in this game, NHL 23. Rebounds are super effective. What you can see here that I do is whenever I get the puck with Stamkos, before I take the shot, I move my left stick in the direction where I want to aim the shot. It sounds obvious, but if you get a little bit of that motion prior to the shot animation, you get a more ideal rebound opportunity. Similar scenario here, only this time I have a right-handed shot on the right side. As you can see, if you pay attention on this next playthrough, there's a little bit of a wiggle prior to shooting the puck, and that's aiming bottom left. You also want to wait until your players are close to the net, crashing the net. I wait until Stamkos is close enough to when that rebound pops out, he'll be able to get it. One way to practice these, if you don't want to practice them in game, if you go into practice mode and do rush 2-on-1, you'll be able to set up that scenario where you can try it over and over again until you're able to get those shots to pop out the way that they do. I'm going to let this play run a few times because this is probably most of my offense. Like I said, it doesn't matter whether I'm running crash the net, behind the net, or overload. I like to switch up in games, but most of the player movement or puck movement that I do is based off this specific play, right? So most people, whenever they have the puck, they like to go behind the net in general. That seems to be the meta this year, and it's been the way the past few years, right? So like if I'm on the boards here, I like to go up to the defenseman at the point and then do a D-to-D pass right here. Whenever you do that D-to-D pass and the puck crosses the center of the offensive zone, it flips whatever offensive strategy you have to the other side, right? So right now I'm running crash the net, but even on behind the net and overload, it would still flip. So once I make that pass, I like to see if I do have a guy in front of the net. Usually I do. I like to wait till he is right at the side of the goalie and aim to the left in this situation for the deflection. Looking at this again, most people you're playing against online are probably running collapse and protect net. That's what all the other like content creators and stuff like that tell you to run on defense. That's what I run on defense. So until people force you to cover the point, you're not going to, right? So if you run this play specifically, this deflection play is almost always open. So I like to use this one a lot. And just to show that this play works on the other side as well, I'm going to show the same exact play setup, just flipped. Right here, pass from the right side to the left side. Still had a guy stuck in front right there in Ryan Kessler. He had silver big tipper. I tell you guys, it doesn't matter whether they have big tipper or not. Usually they get that deflection off this play. People don't cover this enough, especially if you're like in the lower divisions. I'm assuming that this is going to work a lot. And then even whenever you get up to like Division 1 or Division 2, the meta is to circle around behind the net, wait for the wrap, so people aren't covering these plays. So if you're going for deflections repeatedly, you're doing that play, I guess the question is what happens whenever your opponent runs tight point? Same thing, right? I start this play off on the boards. I go from behind the net, go to the boards, and then we can see here he has two guys at the point. There's no point in making that pass. But whenever there's two people at the point, the middle's wide open. Crash the net, like I said before, behind the net, overload. Once you start to skate up the boards, your player, the other forward, is going to cut to the middle where line is at in this play. So once I see that that's open, you can make that simple pass there. And you have like a 3-on-3 basically close to the net. If you have an offhanded winger on the other side or offhanded forward on the other side, you can pass. You can do this simple pass here and then shoot far side. That works a lot. And then you also have other options if that play presents itself, right? So like if I pass the line A here and he goes and covers that other player, you can just skate in and take the shot if you want. He was pressuring me. There was no reason to try to make a move. Draisaitl was open. So once people start covering the point, if you mix this in, it's easy to score a lot of goals. One last thing to show you, and it's just to mix in if you don't always want to do that D-to-D pass. If you see you have skaters in front of the net, maybe they're not facing the shot where it's coming from. If you do a little L2 pivot before you take the shot and you aim the slap shot low, it'll make the skaters in front of the net face the blue line. So you can see that L2 pivot there. Zegras starts to face where I'm shooting from, and I take the slap shot low to the left side, and it triggers him actually going for the deflection. I'm not sure why this happens at all. It doesn't make any sense. but I'm able to get that deflection there. And I think in this scenario, I probably could have made the D to D pass, but I did have the skaters in front of the net. I was able to take the slap shot and get the goal. Thank you for watching the video. I think it goes to show that you don't necessarily have to play the meta way if you want to win in NHL 23. I think if you mix in those couple things, you should score more goals if you're struggling to score. You don't have to go for wraparounds like everybody does or cross crease attempts. Deflections are really good in this game, and if you mix them in, people will start covering the point, leaving everything else wide open. So if you enjoyed the video, like I said earlier, subscribe. If not, it's okay. Thank you for watching.